Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to be back with you today, sharing some of Florence Scovel-Shing's SP stories written in her books. And she's very well known for the game of life and how to play it. In chapter 7, Love, there are two stories, I believe, talking about two women manifested their specific people back. And the story I would like to share with you today is a different one. And I chose this story to share with you, which I am going to read in a second. I actually was inspired to talk about this one or better. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this saying in conscious manifesting community. I don't even know where it comes from, this one or better. It just initially I was never resonated with this saying, and I am going to give you my reasons. So the surface reason is, there are two reasons mainly. So the first reason is this one or better actually comes from a lacking. I have a plan B. So if this specific person cannot be or would not be manifested by me, then somebody else could fill in the spot, that type of energy, which I don't resonate with personally. I feel like it is from a lacking place. It is from this setting himself up for failure. Is like this failure, this wish unfulfilled is already written type of energy. So I don't resonate with that, with this saying. This is the first reason. The second reason I am going to explain right after this story. So here I go. A woman who came to me whose heart's desire was her right. So this is from Florence Scovel-Shing's client, one of her clients came to her saying, a woman came to me whose heart's desire was her right marriage and happy home. She was very fond of a certain man, but he was the most difficult person. After having shown her every attention and devotion, he suddenly changed and dropped out of her life. She was unhappy, resentful, and discouraged. I said, now, this is the time to prepare for your happy home. Buy little things for it as if you hadn't a minute to spare. She became quite interested in shopping for her happy home. When all the appearances against it, now, I said, you have to perfect yourself on the situation and become immune to all resentment and unhappiness. I gave her the statement, I am now immune to all hurt and resentment. My poise is built upon a rock, the Christ within. I'm going to read that again because I think that is very crucial. I am now immune to all hurt and resentment. My poise is built upon a rock, the Christ within. I said, when you're immune to all hurt and resentment, this man will be given you, or his equivalent. It took many months when one evening she came to see me and said, I've only the kindest and most friendly feelings for this man. If he isn't the divine selection, I will be happy without him. Not long after, she happened to meet the man. He was so sorry for the way he had acted. He begged her to forgive him. Not long after, they were married and happy home came into manifestation. Oh, what a sweet story. Okay, so let's talk about this one or better. In this pure love frequency that this woman found herself at, she said, I've only the kindest, most friendly feelings for this man. If he isn't divine selection, I will be happy without him. And Florence said, when you're immune to all hurt and resentment, this man will be given you, or his equivalent. Okay. The second reason that I don't resonate with this one or better is it almost sounds like there is something wrong with this man, that this man is not your divine selection. Now I would like to briefly talk about divine selection here, because it can be quite confusing. What is this man? You might be asking, am I manifesting this specific person? Is he even my divine selection? My understanding of divine selection, which Florence talked about she used this term a lot in her books, right? Divine selection to me is you see this person as their God self, higher self, broader version of themselves, as the perfect version of themselves, as God sees us. I use God, this word very loosely. Divine intelligence, infinite intelligence sees us as perfect, right? So when you see the perfect version of your SP, when you see the most affectionate, the most loving version of your SP, you actually are holding them in the vision as God sees them. So this is actually very loving from you, not only to SP, but to any human in the world. If you can hold them with loving energy, you see them as their best self, it is very inspiring, and it's very nurturing energy, right? So this is pure love. So that means you hold them as their highest version without conditions. It does not matter how it appears in your current 3D reality, you see them as the most loving version of them anyways. So this is my interpretation of divine selection. Florence told this woman, if not this man will be giving you, or his equivalent. That to me completely erased this one or better, because there is no this one or better. Because to my understanding, I also feel like if you cannot hold this man as their highest version, how can you be practicing this with some other man, right? Does it make sense? Okay, so because as someone who I manifested multiple people back into my life, and I wanted to say at some point I didn't want to manifest that person anymore, so I actually manifested them being away from, being out of my life. And this is completely for another video, but I'm just saying this one or better is you do not really know if that next person, I'm not saying you're manifesting new love, new person, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying if you have this specific person, at the same time you feel like, oh, what if I can't really manifest them? What if they don't end up with come back to me, or we just don't end up being together? Then you see the next person is better, and that is a misunderstanding, because initially it means you give up on holding this current specific person as their highest version, most loving, most affectionate, most just adores you version, and you want to start practicing that with a new person, which is nothing wrong with it. However, there is just, do you know what I'm talking about? This one or better. If you say this one, I feel like if you say this one and better, that to me still feels like this one and better, this current version of SP showing up in my reality, I am still perfecting myself to hold the highest version, their highest version, most loving version. So this one and better, that to me is still, and a better version of this same SP. So I feel like this is kind of, that makes sense to me in a sense. So this man will be given you, or his equivalent. I feel the way Florence mentioned this to this woman, it is so juicy to talk about this. I love talking about this. Okay, this man will be giving you, or his equivalent. What does this even mean? When you are in the most loving frequency, you are actually open. I'm not sure if you have been, if you have experienced this, that it's like this channel is completely open. Is your mind is very clear. You're loving. You feel like you're one with the world, and you only have the best thoughts, the kindest thoughts for this man or this woman. Sorry, I've been talking about man. Woman. Okay, woman as well, as you're manifesting a lady as your specific person. So when you do that, when you are in this love frequency, you are open because you are love. And I experienced this before, right? At that moment, I didn't care about this specific person or some other new person or some other previous people. I didn't care, as my mind didn't go there, right? It's not like I decided consciously, if not this person, then somebody better, or his equivalent. No, it's because I am open, I am full of love. I see this person through unconditional love. I see that person through unconditional love. So to me, I know it doesn't matter who comes into my 3D space. This man is the highest version of himself as the love that I am attracting, as the love I am, right? So that's where his equivalent comes from, as my understanding. And although his equivalent is, I'd like you to take his equivalent lightly as well, because if you think like this, you are manifesting this SP, and your mind have so much thoughts, and your mind is on manifesting this SP. And when you are aligned to a point, because when you're aligned, that could be different levels of alignment, but you are really aligned, you have the kindest thoughts for this man. That is the golden spot, the sweetest spot. So in that sense, it's like he is swimming, his highest version has been swimming in your vortex. I'm not sure if you could actually understand this word. Swimming in your energy. How about that? Swimming in your energy. And because this misalignment from your end, his highest version is still just swimming there, right? Just floating. And when you are aligned perfectly, I use that word perfectly loosely, he comes right in, right? Or I don't even want to use or, because in my experiences, it's just this specific person I would like to have as my specific person, as the person I want to manifest. It's always him comes right in. So there is no, in my experience at least, there is no equivalent. However, I am 100% with equivalent, his equivalent. However, I still would like to encourage you, most likely, because your specific person has been in your energy, on your mind. So once you're aligned, of course, your specific person would show up as the best version you intended. Let me know if this makes sense to you, and if you need deeper clarity, I will come back and talk about it more. But I feel like this is such a Florence Scovel-Shinn. She's before Neville, so I love her work, and she explains things more simple, I would say, because her terms are just more like easier to understand. So she is also one of my favorite. Thank you so much for watching. I intend this video has offered value to you, and as always, I will be back.